Russia faces no threat from NATO or Ukraine, but accommodating illegitimate Russian concerns would not make their threats disappear. Instead, Russia would be emboldened. Bullies only respond to strength. I urge Russia to take the path of diplomacy. We are ready to talk. We can talk at the UN as fellow members of the P5, at the OSCE, at the NATO-Russia Council, and Russia can talk bilaterally with the United States as well as with other NATO allies. I say to Russia, now is the time to de-escalate and choose diplomacy. But we are very clear. If they decide to continue down the path of aggression, there will be massive consequences, bringing Russia severe economic costs and pariah status. For years now, Russia has been building its capabilities, violating its commitments and probing our weaknesses. The West needs to wise up. We need to work together to discredit their arguments in public. We should use our intelligence strategically to challenge their narrative, as we did last month, exposing the Kremlin's plans to install a pro-Russian leader in Kiev and exposing their military build-up on the border. And we should take on falsehoods, like Russia's claims that the 2014 Revolution of Dignity was a coup d'etat, or when they talk about the indivisibility of security, as if it means that security is a zero-sum game. Russia argues that increasing one state's security can only come at the expense of another's, and with this perverse philosophy, they falsely claim that countries on Russia's borders should not be able to defend themselves or join defensive alliances like NATO. I challenged Foreign Minister Lavrov on this in Moscow last week. The commitment to indivisibility of security runs through the Helsinki Accords and the OSCE summits in Istanbul and Astana, and it means the precise opposite of what Russia claims. It's actually a message of mutual dependence, that our security is inseparable and that a threat to one imperils the security of all. The free world needs to draw a line under a decade of drift. That means investing in defence and deterrence and pressing on with NATO's rapid modernisation. If we hang back, that would only embolden the bullies in their campaign against sovereignty and the right to self-determination. This is a litmus test for the West. We must stand up and defuse Russian aggression now, because if we don't, it will embolden not only the Kremlin, but aggressors, authoritarians and autocrats right around the world. What matters here in Eastern Europe matters for the world, and it matters for the future. We have a duty to make sure that the next 10 years are better than the last. And of course, threats exist far beyond the Euro-Atlantic region. Our security is also indivisible from what is going on in the Asia-Pacific. Beijing is increasing its assertiveness and expanding its armed forces at breakneck speed. They're upending the rule of law to create no-go areas in the South China Sea and conducting military flights near Taiwan. But China is not the same as Russia. They claim a policy of non-interference. That's why it's surprising to see China's leaders aligning themselves with the Kremlin. They didn't object to the 2014 invasion of Crimea. They now talk about who should or shouldn't be able to join NATO. And last month they joined Russia in resisting a Security Council discussion in Ukraine. If China wants to be seen as a responsible global actor, they should be doing everything possible to ensure that Russia steps back.
NATO allies continued strong diplomatic efforts to find a political solution to the serious crisis triggered by Russia's military build-up in and around Ukraine. Despite Moscow's claims, we have seen no sign of withdrawal or de-escalation so far. On the contrary, Russia's build-up appears to continue. We continue to monitor developments very closely. We call on Russia to do what it says and withdraw its forces from the borders of Ukraine. This will be an important first step towards a peaceful political solution.